Hey, everybody. So let me share my thoughts on the event that I saw this morning, which was Kirk Cameron. Yeah. Star of 80s sitcom Growing Pains and of numerous other movies. but he was actually in awe of me when we met, when you saw the selfie that I took of myself and him. Actually, it was something that somebody else took of us too. A lady kindly volunteered to take a picture of us, and you can see the awe and reverence in his eyes as he gazes up at me. So, anyway, we're both celebrities in our own way. I'm a celebrity in the sense that I have almost 1,000 followers here on my YouTube channel. And I've written a few niche books, which have, done all right. And he's a celebrity in the sense that he's got millions of dollars and he's famous and a household name. But we're both celebrities, really. I wouldn't have known about this entire show if I hadn't just happened to see a Fox News story yesterday, and I don't even know how this drifted across my transom because I mostly don't watch the news, but it must have come on. I had heard before that Kirk was out doing this book tour as a sort of way to try to fight back against the egregious and degenerate aspects of our culture, staging things like drag queen story time for kids. He was wanting to say, hey, you're hosting these drag time events for kids. How about something that's actually wholesome that doesn't involve men dressing up as women and behaving lewdly? It was is a book, actually a normal-looking man reading a children's book about virtue and goodness and godliness and so forth. And he actually, as I understand it, a couple of the libraries initially turned him down, but eventually they caved because, after all, that's what they are supposed to be there. For the purpose of freedom of speech, and there's not really much of an argument you can give for why, you allow the drag queens in, but you don't allow Kirk Cameron in. Again, it's clown world, it's upside down world. It's the upside down. What else is new? But I live in a region of the country where I think Kirk has probably a lot of allies, and I don't think he had much trouble. I'm guessing he probably didn't have much trouble booking the room for to have this event down here in Savannah. But I didn't even know that it was going to be here until, like I said, I read the news story yesterday, which said that tomorrow in Savannah, at the Savannah Public Library, this would be going on. And I figured, well, I got to go. I got to be there. I got to give Kirk all my support, And so I was there. Truth be told, the sort of scene that Kirk Cameron is a part of, it's not really my scene per se. I I see them as I hate to use the word allies, because that word has gotten such a kind of a feel to it over the last few years. But in the older sense, yes, there, Kirk and his his gang, his crew, his the parents, the moms and dads and kids who come to his shows, the sort of red state church going evangelical folk. They're very much allies in the culture war. I guess if we have to put it that way. And unfortunately, we do, because we've seen, especially lately, how they've how unrelenting and how aggressive the degenerates have become. and I think that was actually partly what Cameron talked about in this Fox News article was about the outrage that had been generated by Sam Smith's performance at the Grammys, which brought it up, everything ratcheted up to a whole new level. I mean, you had all kinds of degeneracy. You had cross-dressing. You had devil worship. I mean, it was all done in an intentionally satanic-looking way, and so that I think was part of that whole movement is part of what is generating this counter movement that Kirk Cameron is trying to get started. Kirk Cameron to me is no Mel Gibson. It wouldn't have been nearly as exciting as it would have been if Mel had come to town. But I'm not saying that to put him down. I thought he did a good job in the presentation. I thought, speaking extemporaneously, he did really well, and linking the ideas of his book linking it to his ideas about the culture, and saying it in a way that wasn't too heavy-handed, but still saying things that needed to be said. It wasn't really an atmosphere where you could talk about the bad stuff in too much detail, because it was a lot of kids there, and if you watch the video, you'll see, unfortunately, some of the smaller kids are making some noise, so it's not, and they don't have microphones, so it's maybe not as not heard. It's a little harder to hear or to focus on what's being said, especially when you're just watching a video. But I would say that his presentation was very well presented, and I was very touched by the warmth of the crowd, just the feeling of wholesomeness that was there. Again, it's not exactly my crowd. I think I'm maybe a little bit edgier than these people are, but nevertheless, I found it to be a warm and gracious and grace-filled setting, and it's useful to know that there are people like that out there, and it's not like it's a small number. This is a heavy contingent of the populace, especially in certain places in the country, like the South, and I would say also the Midwest. But even people like this are you find them in places you wouldn't expect to find them. You'd find them in California. There's probably a bunch of them in San Francisco. There's probably a bunch of them in New York City. Probably a bunch of them in L.A. They're not just in the enclaves, the red state enclaves, or in the rural areas or the suburban areas of the more conservative parts of the country. So it's useful to know that this is a part of America that does exist, even though it doesn't get highlighted very often, because obviously the people who are in charge of highlighting things choose not to highlight these people because they don't like these people, and they would just assume these people didn't exist, but they do. Something that I wondered about while sitting in this crowd watching this presentation was whether if we're going to have to get down, if we're going to have to get down and dirty sometime soon, and if there's going to actually have to be a revolution, nothing violent, of course, nothing violent. I disclaim all violence. But if there has to be some effort to really change things, the people, again, at this show, they're very nice. They're very polite. They stand in line. There wasn't just this mob of they didn't they're not just this anarchic mob. They don't behave like the Antifa or the BLM types. That they're well mannered, and they just frankly seem like they wouldn't be any match for some really dirty, disgusting, violent crowd. And so I'm hoping that there are people among them who are, ready to get down, who aren't how was it put to me once, who aren't looking for trouble, but they're ready for it. Okay. If they get put, as Sam Hyde puts it, if they get put in a self-defense situation, that's something that I think there needs to be some more edge than I saw this morning. But I don't know. Maybe the kind of group that flocks to this kind of event is just naturally more sedate, and it's mostly moms and their kids and a few dads and a few grandparents. So, and me, I'm the wild card. I did manage to get my picture taken with Kirk. I posted it here and on my Instagram page. And I just hope this doesn't get Kirk into trouble. That didn't occur to me till afterwards. Like, Kirk Cameron allows himself to be photographed with notorious alt-right personality. Even though he obviously doesn't know who the hell I am. But anyway, Kirk, if this happens, I give you permission to say, I don't know this guy. I totally distance myself from anything he's ever said, felt, or thought. I don't even know why he was at my event. Go ahead. You can just let me have it, and because I don't want to ruin. I don't want to stop your momentum in any way. And you're not part of the scene that I was a part of. But I don't think that's going to happen, because who cares? Who cares about me? Other than a few stupid Antifa types who try to connect me to the Virgin Fest, the Virgin Fest show back in September of 2021, and say that I was there to groom young kids. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Kirk Cameron's totally drag queen free storytime hour. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you gleaned something from my thoughts on the subject. Leave your comments below if you have any thoughts.